What's up, Internet? This has been the Bearded Coffee Blogger, and I'm back today with another tasting from a coffee from Melbourne, Australia. Super pumped about that. Don't miss this episode. Boom! We're here today with some Tulip coffee, and this is straight from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm super excited to try it today with you on the Bearded Coffee Blogger. We previously, over Christmas, I did a tasting with my brothers, and when we did that, we tried some Grey House Roasters. Grey House Roasters is a home roasting operation that's done by my brother's brother-in-law, Mark Creekmore. And he is married to a girl from Australia, and so she was back home in Melbourne, which is a huge coffee city, as a lot of you know, probably the biggest coffee city in the world, perhaps. And she sent him home a bunch of bulk coffee, and he's like, I want to share some with you. And I was like, dude, that's amazing. I didn't even ask him. He just sent it. So Mark, thank you so much. Peace, mega love for sending me some of this, because I love trying stuff I've never tried before. And so today we've got Tulip coffee. Now, we'll just start by saying the obvious. This packaging is amazing. This particular shade of like kind of peachy pink, super cool. I love that it's in this container, and just the whole vibe of Tulip coffee. So I looked up Tulip coffee online, and I can't actually, their website's just kind of like a holding page right now, and they have an Instagram account, and dog barking. Ellie, come here. Hey, good dog. Can you sit? They can't hear. They can't hear if you're barking. I can't find a lot of information about Tulip coffee. Their website right now is just kind of a holding page, and they have an Instagram account, so it's pretty images, but I don't actually know what I'm drinking. I can tell you that when I look at the beans, they're quite large, and it almost reminds me of a Pacamera varietal, because it's so large. So it's not necessarily that. It could be like a double A graded Kenya or something. I have no idea. We're gonna taste it and just see what we taste, and that's all I know. So Mark, much love. Thank you for sending me this, but I don't know anything about what I'm about to try. But it came straight from Melbourne, Australia. And it does smell good, and you can just tell it's high-end, third wave, good coffee, right from the get-go. All right, so we'll start off. I brewed this per normal Kalita wave. Got a good flat brew bed when brewing. Pretty happy with the time and all that. So, ooh, okay. So right off the bat, I got a little bit of cedar hint on the nose, so a little bit of like woodsy cederness. It's kind of opening up into a little bit of fruit from that. Maybe a little cinnamon. Any noise you hear is just the dog roaming around the house. It's just me and Ellie here right now at the house. Yeah, so cedar, a little bit of fruit, perhaps some cinnamon. It's a little different on the nose. A little different. All right, let's go ahead and try this. Okay. Hey, you're in the way. Come here. Pause, Internet. The dog is likely just going to be all throughout this video, but hopefully she's sitting still now. She's a great dog. But she likes to sit. 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 Got her right there. Hopefully she's going to stay right there. So like I said, a little bit of cedar on the nose. That kind of transitions into fruit. And perhaps a little cinnamon. It almost smells like it might be a Brazil, I'm thinking. Not sure. So this is real interesting. I've definitely tasted coffee like this before. So it's got a winey, grapey thing in your mouth. So like, and I still get kind of like that cedar. So kind of like woodsy. Some might describe it as cinnamon, and then in you know, when I'm tasting it, it's got that very grapey, winey, curranty. Yeah, so like grape wine, currant, sort of got a wine thing going on. And I'm liking it more as it cools. We've been talking about that a lot, I think, on the channel here lately, but most coffee is going to taste better as it cools. It's going to get a little bit sweeter. It's going to open up a little bit more. Sometimes there can be a little harshness with when it's really hot, and it can taste more bitter than it actually is. And so, you know, a lot of people really love like really hot coffee. Me too. But you actually get more flavor usually as it cools. And this coffee is becoming more balanced as it cools, which I really, really like. Man, this is really good. So yeah, it's got a pretty medium body, kind of like what you'd expect. It's the acidity on this is really coming across as like to me like that's the dog moaning, like a lemon lime, white grape skin, still a little bit of hint of cedar. So yeah, that's the acidity in this. Medium body, grapey black currant is overall what I'm tasting. And it's balancing out really nicely as it cools. I mean, so I wish I had more that I could tell you about this specific coffee, but I just don't know. But if I get the information from Mark, I'm going to reach out to him and just ask him, does he know what this specific coffee is? But this is a really good coffee. I'm not quite sure how fresh it is, but it still smells fresh. I just know he got it, and then he, I think, shipped it to me from Mississippi, from Melbourne. And this joker's full. So I'm really pumped about trying this coffee and drinking this coffee. If I had to rate it, overall, for me, this is a 4 out of 5 sort of coffee. It's a really good coffee that has flavor characteristics that you may really be in love with, or that might not quite be your thing. But that's simply a preference thing. It actually has nothing to do with the quality of the coffee. The quality of the coffee is quite high. I feel like it's developed really well. You know, it's interesting. It's different than other coffees I've had on the channel. And I will definitely enjoy drinking pots and pots of this. So I'm super pumped. I'm just super pumped to try something I haven't had before. So Tulip coffee for the win. This stuff is great. And Mark, thank you for all the love, and just for, you know, out of the kindness of your heart, sending me good coffee. I super appreciate that. And again, if you haven't checked out Gray House Roasters out of Amory, Mississippi, you should go check out some of their stuff, because Mark is doing really quality stuff out of his home and is a fellow coffee lover. So I got to respect that. So anyway, this has been Ben, the Bearded Coffee Blogger, and this has been a quick one, except for dog interruptions. But I hope you're having a great weekend. It is Saturday for me here in Nashville. And so I don't know when you watch this, but if you're watching on the weekend, hope you have a good weekend. Question of the day. Have you ever been to Australia or tried any Australian coffees? Because this one's fantastic, and I love all the coffee culture coming out of Australia. Anyway, this has been the Bearded Coffee Blogger. Peace! And subscribe, like the channel, share this if you're loving the content. Thank you guys so much.